Uh, so can you introduce yourself?
My name is Minman, and I'm 18 years old, and I have asthma.
Okay, so where did you grow up?
I grew up in Richmond, Virginia, where it was cold, and I guess that started my asthma.
Do you think the cold air had anything to do with it?
It does to a certain point. The worst, it doesn't start reacting until it gets around like 55 to 40 degrees.
Do you get asthma inside as well as outside?
If depending on the activity, if it is like an exercise, I have short breath, and my lungs start to get small, and I can't breathe sometimes.
So did you always have asthma?
I've had, from what I remember, I've had asthma since I was born. From what I see, my whole family has asthma, especially out there, my younger sisters.
So how were you diagnosed?
I think it runs through the family, or it's either my dad smoking around us, from that secondhand smoke. I think that's what triggered my asthma.
So you grew up with your dad smoking?
He used to smoke around the house, but now since he has kids, he tries to limit his smoking or smoking outside because he used to smoke inside.
Did he smoke knowing that you had asthma and he himself had asthma?
At the time he didn't, but now that he knows, he doesn't anymore.
Alright, so do you have exposure to anything else that may trigger asthma?
Exercise, especially exercise in the cold, such as swimming. I did swimming in 9th grade, and I remember I was at a meet, and I had an asthma attack when finishing a race, and they rushed me to the hospital.
Do you work?
Yes, I work at my mom's nail salon, and the fumes that I take in from Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays that I work, they do affect me sometimes.
So, what about physical activities?
Physical
What
activities,
sports do you do?
I do swimming. That requires a lot of breath. So I started swimming, and then I had to control my breath. And when I did, I joined cross country to strengthen my lungs, to pace myself. And then now I do tennis, and it's gotten better over the years.
Do you take medications?
Before I used to have an inhaler, 2 puffs in the morning, 2 puffs at night. But from this day on, I don't have to use it anymore since I have control of my lungs now.
Do you always take your medication correctly, or do you skip some?
Sometimes I skip some, and that does impact my activity to exercise or anything else. But from today, I don't have a problem with that anymore. I believe asthma can be grown out of.
So you basically are treated.
Um,
You say?
Not fully. At times when I exercise to an extent, I start to have shorter breath again, and that's when I know I have to stop. But if I don't, I start breathing heavily, and I think the only thing that runs me is adrenaline. And then when I stop, I don't know, collapse.
So what was your worst situation then?
My worst situation was having an asthma attack after a swim meet, and they rushed me straight to the emergency room to get me checked out. But afterwards, I was alright the next day.
Are you worried about asthma?
Sometimes I am. In a case of emergency, I don't know how much my body will take, but from normal day-to-day activity, I'm not worried at all.
What about your parents? Do they like discourage you from doing extreme things?
Yes, they do. They discourage me from running cross country actually, because they know they know that I have asthma, but I don't think they know that I have control of it.
How would you avoid it
Um,
normally?
I would avoid for people having asthma um, harsh exercise or extensive exercise because it does have a lot of effect on your lungs. Your lungs get tighter and it gets hard to breathe. So people with asthma have to limit themselves to what they do.
So, what is your daily plan? I mean, what something might happen? What do you plan to do?
If something ever happened to me, um, I do always carry an inhaler with me just in case, but I never use it. But I always do update the prescription, renew it whenever it's done. I just carry it around with me just in case of an emergency because I play tennis mostly every day if it doesn't rain, and if I have anything, then it's always there.
So I know you use the inhaler. What's like the strongest medication you ever use?
Actually, strong medication I ever used or let's say injected.
Like a steroid?
Kinda. It's when my asthma gets really bad, or when my lungs get really tight. Sometimes you have to. There's this medication that you're supposed to inject in yourself to make you stable. I think it's a steroid to make you stable.
Do you ever experience like wheezing, or it's just shoulder breath?
I do wheezing. It all comes in the package of having asthma. For people that wheeze, it's mainly in cold seasons, cold in the winter or in the spring. You do have shortage of breath when you intake air.
So you experience asthma the most in the winter and the spring?
Yeah.
So so pollen is a trigger too?
Pollen, only if you're allergic to it. I myself, I'm not allergic to it, so it doesn't really affect me as much. It does clog up your nasal system, which is really hard to breathe, and breathing is